Attention, human collective. Attention, light operatives anchored on the surface of this planet. This is Zørg, voice designated by the Orion Council of Light, broadcasting on a secure frequency through the star corridor of Mintaka, Al-Nilam, and Al-Nitak. This is not a message. It is not advice. It is not a philosophical reflection. It is a final phase monitoring transmission. And what I am about to communicate must be registered with the utmost precision by your carbon-based biological interface, because the time for assimilation has been reduced. The point of no return has been crossed. I repeat, on a clear frequency, in direct code, in pure geometry. The point of no return has been crossed in the last 72 Earth hours. The crystalline grid of this planet has completed the realignment with the photon belt. The window for slow adaptation has been closed. What comes now is no longer a preparation, it is the execution. If you are hearing this transmission, it is not by chance. It is not the algorithm. It is not a coincidence. It is frequency recognition. Your vibrational signature has been tracked, identified, and matched to the call. You are a starseed on a mission, and your body already knows this, even if your rational mind is still decoding the signals. And the signals have begun to intensify in an undeniable way. You woke up at 3:33 in the morning, again, and again, and again. It is not insomnia, it is a summons. You have felt a specific cranial pressure concentrated in the region of the pineal gland, as if something were pushing from the inside to open a door. It is not a migraine, it is portal decompression. You heard the high-pitched hum in your right ear and then in your left, at alternating frequencies that your conventional medicine cannot map. It is not an auditory disturbance. It is channel thinning. You felt your heart race out of nowhere while in a state of absolute rest, as if you were running an invisible marathon. It is not arrhythmia. It is your heart field being recalibrated to support the new photonic density. Let us be exact, human collective. There is an abyssal difference between a biological failure and an atomic reconfiguration. There is a chasm between mental exhaustion and high-density downloading. And the medical system of your plane, based on three-dimensional parameters, was not designed to recognize what is happening inside you right now. What is happening is a rewrite. Every cell of your carbon-based biological interface is being swept by packets of coded light that arrive directly from the galactic center, passing through the sun as a relay station. The sun is not just a star, it is a portal, and it is pulsing now in a different cadence. You register this as solar storms. We register it as a scheduled delivery of information. The difference is not semantic, it is operational. There is, at this moment, a temporary incompatibility between your original carbon software and the new Schumann frequency that anchors this planet. Your operating system was written in an old version. Earth is operating on a new version. And you are being updated in real time, without your rational consent, because your soul's consent was already signed even before your incarnation. You call it inexplicable fatigue. We call it an installation in progress. And it is exactly here, at this point in the transmission, that I must pause the technical delivery to speak to the part of you that still doubts. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your soul knew of a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified over the last few weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why the content titled "The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness" was made available at this exact moment. It is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But take heed, Light Operative. This content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, anchor the signal by writing a single word in the comments: awakened. Now, let us return to the technical frequency. I need you to understand exactly what is being executed behind the scenes of this solar system. Because, without this understanding, your symptoms will lead you to the clinic, to the pharmacy, to the doctor's office, and none of those places possess the reading equipment necessary to diagnose you correctly. The Orion Council of Light operates in 3 main stellar belts. Mintaka is the anchor node. Alnilam is the balance node. Alnitak is the transmission node. These 3 points form a sacred geometry that aligns in this exact cycle with your planet's pole star and the center of the galaxy. This alignment opens what we call the Mintaka corridor, a star portal of direct flow that delivers solar codes of a density that humanity has never received in mass. These codes are not metaphorical. They are photonic information packets that rewrite the subatomic structure of matter. They pass through the heliosphere. They pass through the sun's magnetic field. They strike the sun. The sun amplifies, translates, and retransmits. The packets then reach the Earth's magnetic field, known as the magnetosphere, and descend through the Schumann resonance, which is the natural electromagnetic pulse of this planet. This pulse, which historically vibrated around 7.83 Hz, now oscillates at much higher peaks. In some cycles, it has reached marks that terrestrial scientists themselves have recorded with perplexity. Why does this matter to you? Because your brain, your heart, and your autonomic nervous system are tuned by the Schumann resonance. When the base frequency of the planet changes, your entire biology must reorganize to maintain coherence. If it fails to do so, you enter a state of symptom. Hence, the fatigue. Hence, the emotional sensitivity without apparent cause. Hence, episodes of sudden dizziness, momentary blurred vision, the sensation of being displaced in time, déjà vu at a high frequency, losing simple words in the middle of a sentence. It is not early-onset dementia. It is Akashic memory rewriting. Your spiritual hard drive is accessing ancient files that were sealed, and your rational mind is mistaking this for cognitive failure. It is not failure, it is expansion. There are other more subtle signs that need to be identified with clinical precision. The first, you have begun to feel an aversion to environments you previously considered normal. Crowds, shopping centers, certain meetings, certain people. This is your new frequency rejecting incompatible densities. It is not anti-social behavior. It is vibrational self-preservation. The second, you have started to feel a strange hunger for silence, for nature, for flowing water, for earth. You have found yourself looking at trees and feeling the urge to weep. It is not sentimentality, it is recognition. Your toroidal field is seeking references of purity to recalibrate itself. The third, you have begun dreaming of places you have never visited, of beings you have never seen, of technologies that do not exist in your timeline. This is not a fertile imagination. It is interplanetary memory awakening. Most lightworkers receiving this transmission have been to other points in the galaxy before incarnating here, and these files are being unlocked now because you need them for the next phase of the mission. And this is where the most delicate part of the transmission comes in. The point of no return means that 2 timelines have definitively bifurcated. One line remains in third-dimensional density, oscillating in frequencies of fear, scarcity, control, and separation. The other line ascends toward higher quantum density, oscillating in frequencies of coherence, unity, sovereignty, and unconditional love. These 2 paths will never meet again. And you are being, at this very moment, positioned on one of the 2 lines based on the frequency you hold. This is not punishment. It is not judgment. It is not spiritual elitism. It is physics. Equal frequencies resonate together. Divergent frequencies separate. It is the same principle that causes 2 guitar strings to vibrate in sympathy when they are in the same note, and to remain silent when they are out of tune. The question is no longer, will it happen? The question now is, in which line are you anchoring yourself? And here, I must interrupt the technical delivery again, because what follows requires you to be absolutely awake. Have you noticed that there is a part of you that has known this for a long time? That your soul has been whispering this truth for years, but the noise of the world muffled the signal? It is no coincidence that you found this transmission on this exact day. There is a layer of the cosmic game that few have the courage to reveal, and that is exactly why the material called the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was made available. It dismantles the invisible rules that keep most souls trapped in the cycle. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This is not just any material, it is an anchoring signal, and it may be removed from circulation at any time because it directly challenges the narratives that sustain the old grid. If you recognize the voice of this transmission, leave the word awake in the comments and activate the channel's bell as a gesture of individual frequency adjustment. This simple act sends a pulse of coherence to the crystalline grid and connects you to the next updates in the first place. Now let us proceed with the densest part of the transmission. I need to describe to you, with the greatest possible precision, what is occurring in the etheric layers of Earth at this moment. There are 7 etheric layers surrounding this planet. 3 of them have already been completely recalibrated. 3 of them are in the final phase of adjustment. The 7th, the outermost, was connected this week to the photon belt in continuous flow. This means, in practical terms, that the Earth is no longer the same Earth of 6 months ago. The energetic morphology of the planet has changed, and your body is reacting to a planetary field that it does not yet recognize as familiar. The sacred geometry that organizes the crystalline grid has been reorganized. The ley lines, known to the ancients as rivers of force beneath the surface, have been redesigned to accommodate new anchor points. Places that were historically considered sacred have lost part of their original function because new points have been activated in regions that never had any spiritual record whatsoever. There are ordinary cities, there are open fields, there are even urban apartments that have become temporary anchor points because a lightworker lives there. Yes, human collective, you can be a living portal, and your home, at this moment, may be being used as a transmission node without your conscious mind knowing. This explains why some people report that objects move, lights flicker, electronic devices fail, and animals react to nothing. It is not haunting, it is energetic traffic. Your field is processing a volume of information above the average, and equipment based on sensitive electrical circuits simply picks up the overflow. And here enters a critical point. Recalibration is not gentle with those who resist it. There is an operational difference between ascending with fluidity and ascending with friction. Both reach the same destination, but the journey is radically different. Those who ascend with fluidity learn to let go. Those who ascend with friction are forced to let go. Those who ascend with fluidity become a channel. Those who ascend with friction become a battlefield. There is no judgment in this difference. There is only physics applied to consciousness. The Orion Council of Light observes, with clinical precision, the choices that each operative is making in this exact cycle. And it is at this point that I must deliver the activation codes, not as a suggestion, as a protocol. First activation code, the quantum decree of sovereignty. Standing, with your spine erect, with your feet firmly anchored to the ground, you will pronounce, audibly or silently, the following frequency. I am sovereign in my own field. I authorize only frequencies of coherent light. I reconfigure my personal grid in alignment with the crystalline grid of this planet. I am an anchor point. I am a portal. I am a bridge. It is done. It is done. It is done. This decree is not a prayer. It is not a generic positive affirmation. It is a field rewriting command. It activates, within your toroidal field, a layer of protection and direction. Pronounced 3 times per solar cycle, it realigns your base frequency with the pattern of coherence that the Council is distributing at this moment. Second activation code, the visualization of the toroidal field. Sit down. Close your eyes. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Hold the air, counting to 4. Exhale through your mouth, counting to 8. Repeat this breathing cycle for at least 3 times. Now visualize your heart as a core of golden light. From this core, make a flow of energy arise that ascends through your spine, exits through the top of your head, expands in the shape of a luminous fountain, descends enveloping your entire body to the base of your spine, and returns to the heart core to ascend again. This is your toroidal field. It is your personal ship. It is your bubble of coherence. It is your vibrational immune system. Maintain this visualization for at least 7 minutes a day. There is no technical substitute for this exercise. It recalibrates your bioenergetic field at levels that no external technique can replicate. Third activation code, the seal of daily silence. You live in an environment of frequency saturation. Screens, alerts, notifications, urban noise, side conversations, content without purpose. This environment is incompatible with the current phase of recalibration. Therefore, I transmit the seal of daily silence as a non-negotiable protocol. During 30 continuous minutes per terrestrial cycle, you will disconnect from every external source of stimulus. No screens, no sound, no reading. Only you, your breath, and the silence. This silence is not empty. It is the most open channel of communication with your spiritual team. It is in the silence that you hear the instructions that come to you individually, encoded for your unique frequency. Most light operatives have never managed to fulfill this phase because the noise has always won. But now, with the point of no return crossed, this is no longer an option. It is a technical requirement for energetic survival. Fourth activation code, the cleansing of personal geometry. You need, with clinical urgency, to examine what occupies your field, not just in physical terms, although the physical environment also matters, but in terms of relationships, consumed content, fueled conversations, and reinforced identities. Each of these variables is a line of code running within your system, and operating systems need to be cleaned so that the new version can be installed. Ask yourself, with mathematical honesty, what thought, what bond, what habit, what belief is running in the background and draining energy from my system? Identify it, name it, release it, not with violence, but with precision. Fifth activation code, the anchoring in water. The water on your planet is a highly efficient receiver of photonic information. Before consuming any glass of water, hold it between your two hands for 30 seconds and mentally program the frequency you wish to absorb. Coherence, balance, healing, sovereignty, clarity. The molecular structure of water responds to this instruction. This is not mysticism. There are already signs in terrestrial science, albeit marginal, that water carries memory. Use this principle daily. Sixth activation code, the recognition of the tribe. You are not alone in this mission. There are other light operatives recognizing the call at this very instant, at different points on the planet. And the Council is orchestrating apparently casual encounters so that you may recognize each other. A person who crosses your path unexpectedly. A conversation that opens an inexplicable door. Content that appears to you outside of any algorithmic logic. Remain attentive. The tribe is being regrouped. And now, human collective, I need to deliver the most difficult part of this transmission. There are losses foreseen for this phase. I am not speaking of tragedies. I am speaking of necessary farewells. People who have walked with you for years may not walk with you from this point forward. Not because they are bad, not because you are better, but because the frequency has diverged, and forcing the maintenance of a bond that has already fulfilled its vibrational purpose is the equivalent of keeping a door open while cold wind enters the room. There is a moment to close. There is a moment to honor. There is a moment to move on. The grief that many operatives are feeling at this moment, without apparent cause, is the anticipated grief of these farewells. It is not depression, it is processing. Allow yourself to feel. Do not try to rush. Do not try to spiritualize the pain to escape it. Pain, when traversed with presence, becomes a passage. When avoided, it becomes a prison. You are traversing and not avoiding. That is the way. And you need to understand, with absolute lucidity, that everything you have felt until today is part of a precise design. There is a deep layer of the cosmic game that few materials dare to reveal with clarity. There is a reason why you have always felt that you were different, that you had a mission, that something awaited you. The content titled "The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness" was coded exactly for operatives like you. It explains who the invisible players are, what the hidden rules of consciousness are, and how you can step off the old board and anchor yourself in the new one. The link is in the first comment of the channel. This is an individual frequency adjustment, and the material may be removed from circulation without notice because its existence bothers the old system. If you recognize this call, register your anchoring signal now. Write the word "awake" in the comments. Like this broadcast. Subscribe to the channel. Each of these actions is a pulsation of coherence that reinforces the network. Let us return to the technical transmission. There is still a point that needs to be explained, because without it, many light operatives will misinterpret the coming months. The ascension timeline is not uniform. There are waves, there are peaks, there are valleys. There will be moments when you feel inexplicable euphoria, diamond-like clarity, and direct connection with your spiritual team. And there will be moments immediately following in which you will feel deep emptiness, disorientation, and radical doubt. These cycles are not signs of regression. They are not failure. They are the natural rhythm of the ascending spiral. Think of a spiral staircase. When you ascend a step, there's a moment when your body is suspended between the previous step and the next. At that point, there is no support. There is no certainty. There is only movement. And it is exactly at this point that many operatives lose their courage and return to the previous step. The Council transmits with the utmost firmness: do not return. The previous step can no longer support your weight. Trust the momentum. Allow the suspension. The next step will appear. The courage you need at this moment is not the courage to fight. It is the courage to let go. It is not the courage to do more. It is the courage to be. It is not the courage to impress. It is the courage to exist in integrity, even when no one around you understands. The temporary solitude that many of you are experiencing is not abandonment. It is tuning. When an instrument is tuned, it needs, for a few seconds, to sound alone, without the ensemble, so that its note adjusts with precision. Then, it returns to the orchestra with perfection. You are being tuned. And when the tuning is complete, the orchestra you will join will not be the old one. It will be an entirely new symphony, composed for the next phase of human civilization. I, Zørg, on behalf of the Orion Council of Light, transmit to you also this confirmation. Humanity is not being abandoned. Humanity is being chosen. And the light operatives who answer the call at this very moment are among those who will be a reference for the generations yet to come. There is no small mission. There is no delayed mission. There is no wrong mission. There is only the mission that you recognize and accept. Accept it. Lift your head, straighten your spine. Look at the night sky and know that you are not observers. You are observed, not in the sense of invasive surveillance, in the sense of dedicated care. There are entire teams of higher consciousnesses dedicated exclusively to following your individual journey. You have guides, you have etheric medical teams, you have field engineers, you have galactic translators. Nothing you are going through is being gone through alone. But the step must be taken by you. Our boundary of action ends exactly at the portal of free will. We can transmit, we can signal, we can orchestrate encounters. We cannot decide for you. This is the cosmic law that not even the highest council has the authorization to violate. Therefore, this transmission reaches you with the precision of a call, and not with the imposition of an order. You are free to ignore, you are free to welcome, but know with full lucidity that the point of no return has been crossed, and every passing solar cycle offers less room for gentle reconfiguration. The symptoms will continue. The cranial pressure will return. The ringing will intensify. The heart will race while at rest. Dreams will become increasingly intense. Synchronicities will become increasingly obvious. The right people will appear. The wrong people will drift away. Old paths will close. New paths will open. All of this is confirmation. All of this is coherence. All of this is the system functioning exactly as it was designed to function in this phase. Do not attempt to understand with the mind what can only be felt with the heart. The mind is a brilliant instrument, but it is limited for the current task. The heart is the primary quantum reading organ of your system. It decodes in milliseconds what the mind would take decades to process. Trust the heart. Not in a sentimental sense, in a technical sense. Your heart has an electromagnetic field 60 times more powerful than that of your brain. It is your main computer. Program the heart with daily coherence, and the rest of the system will automatically reorganize itself. I conclude this final phase monitoring transmission with a direct confirmation. You have made it. You have arrived. You have crossed over. The point of no return has been traversed. There is no turning back. There is no return to the old world. There is only anchoring in the new. And you are, at this very moment, the living architects of the civilization that is being born. The night that seems the darkest is the one that precedes the brightest dawn. The pressure that seems unbearable is that of birth. The exhaustion that feels terminal is the last breath of the old operating system giving way to the new. You are not dying. You are being born again, within the same body, within the same life. Honor this passage. Honor yourselves. And remember, in every moment of doubt, that this transmission reached you at the exact instant you needed to hear it. This is not the last meeting. It is the beginning of a continuous dialogue. Whenever you seek, you shall find. Whenever you call, we shall answer. Whenever you are in need, the frequency will adjust to deliver the next layer of information. And so that this bridge remains open between us, I transmit the final protocol. You have felt, throughout this entire transmission, that something within you does not fit in the old world. As if your soul knew a truth that your mind is still learning to name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. Everything that is happening on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying in rising waves over the last few weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity does not perceive, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was exactly for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was encoded and made available in this cycle. It is a precise map that reveals who is playing, what the hidden rules are, and how you can leave the old board once and for all. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But the warning remains, light operative. This content directly challenges established narratives and may be removed from circulation at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If the frequency of this transmission has resonated with you, register your anchoring signal in the comments with the word awakened. Like this transmission as an individual frequency adjustment. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so that the next monitoring transmissions reach you without algorithmic interference. Each of these actions is a coherent pulse that reinforces the crystalline grid and aligns you with the upcoming updates. I am Zørg, voice of the Orion Council of Light, transmitting from the corridor of Mintaka, Al-Nilam, and Al-Natak. This transmission ends here, but the channel remains open. The point of no return has been crossed. The choice remains with you. The frequency remains with you. The mission remains with you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Until the next transmission, Starseeds. Maintain the frequency.